Hey, it's pretty early in the morning, but I just wanted to talk about Nintendo and Nintendo games because it is 6 o'clock in the morning and I just had the urge to put out a video because I feel very bad if I don't do that. I feel like I'm lying to my fans, but that is not the truth. That is not the truth. I don't know. I feel compelled to put out a video. So, random topic that I was thinking of Nintendo games. Most people love them, most people like them. That's what it is. Yeah. Of course, there are Nintendo games that didn't sell well, there are Nintendo games that sold well. For instance, a game that didn't sell well, Skyward Sword on the original Wii. I own that on the Wii U. I own Skyward Sword on the Wii U. I feel like an idiot now because I bought it a couple months before Skyward Sword HD was announced. Now, HD, I don't believe should have sold as well as it did. It is a $60 Wii port, which, yes, you can tell me there are bells and whistles. I know, I've played it. Now hear me out. I don't own the game. I have GameFly, so I've played it and then returned it to GameFly. You all remember those ads, so yes, I have played it. I don't own it. I can prove to you I had it at one point, but I don't own it. I have GameFly. Point is, I know there's bells and whistles. I know it's in HD now, but everything Nintendo did should have been a given for just a regular old port. And the fact that they locked behind a whole feature where no matter where you are on the surface, you can return to the sky from that point and then return back down, you have no idea how much that cuts down on time. No idea. Anyone who hasn't played the game tells you it's not that important. You don't need the amiibo. That feature would have helped so much. So much. But, that's besides the point. The fact that it's $60 and it's a Wii port that doesn't add too much other than the fact that it's HD, that part bothers me. Certain Nintendo games, we all know they don't drop in price. Yes, there's a big Nintendo sale right now. Go do that. If you are interested in Nintendo games, go do that. But it's like, I don't know, certain ones are just not worth it. Like, for instance, I love the Zelda series. I've loved every Zelda game except for, like, Wind Waker, because I don't really like that art style. I didn't like it on the Gamecube. I especially hated it on the Wii. I still own both of them. I've still completed both of them. But, I don't really like Wind Waker, and that puts me on the cross for some people. I'm no longer liable to some people just because I don't personally like the Wind Waker. But that's besides the point. I hate Breath of the Wild. A lot of people love Breath of the Wild. I hate it. I hate almost every single thing about it. I don't fuck with open world games. I really, really do not. I love the linear style. That has been me since birth. There are very few exceptions to the open world rule for me. And Breath of the Wild is just not one of them. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that there are hundreds of shrines you can do. Not to say variety is a problem, but none of them are complex. It's either, like, very, very easy, or it's just going to waste your time. There are, like, two I can think of. The ones fucking you're supposed to connect the constellations. Those are the only ones that I couldn't figure out. And, yeah, I'll say those ones would be a normal hit if in a regular Zelda game they showed up. I'd probably think, oh, this is a really hard puzzle. I probably would. But I couldn't figure them out in Breath of the Wild. It's basically conditioned me to not think like that, not use my brain while doing it. But, it's just not something usual in the game. But, there are hundreds of shrines you can do, and the main 4 that you have to do are so simple. They're so simple. It hurts. Like, the most you do in them is you move around one of the divine beasts. That's it. You move it around, you turn it, You make it spout water on itself some way, somehow. But that's all you do. And that's just not enough for me. And that's the main story, I guess. I, the story, if you can even call it that, isn't much. It really isn't. It's near nothing. It's near nothing. You just go to the four divine beasts. You don't even have to do that. You can just run up to Ganon, tree branch in hand, and fight him. That's it. That's all you do. And I don't like that. I especially don't like that. That's like one of the big pet peeves I have for Breath of the Wild. And probably will be for Breath of the Wild too. That's why I'm not hyped. I'm actually very scared because it might become the standard for Zelda games. Which doesn't mean, you won't ever see a linear game again. But knowing the Zelda series, they'll be very rare, and I'll just be a sad, non-Zelda fan at that point. But tedious. I don't really like it. I don't like Zelda. Alright? Like, as a character, I've never liked Zelda outside of, like, 2 games. Other than that, I have not liked her because she is just a princess you go save. It is the same reason I don't like Peach. I don't like Daisy because she's just Peach recolored. Yes, Daisy fan, she is. Except that, I kind of, on the topic, I kind of like Rosalina. She's okay. But we're not talking about Mario. We're talking about Zelda. I don't like her. And no, it's not because she is British. It is not. That is a meme. I'm not racist against British people. Chill. But she's not very important. Like, the whole game is centered around saving her because she's been holding back Ganon on a whim for 100 years now. She had no control over her powers and then just suddenly figured it out and trapped him for 100 years. You're supposed to believe that. But ignoring that, you have to save her when all of the characters you might care about are fucking dead. All of your friends as Link are fucking dead. You have to go and get their spirits or whatever, and yeah, you get their powers, but it's not much. And even with the DLC, when you go read their books, there's not much there anyway. You don't get to interact with much. And of course there's Hyrule Warriors, but that's a whole different matter because it's not even what happened. It's kind of what happened before Ganon showed up. It is time travel. It's time travel. Of course. Of fucking course. But, you know, I keep saying and I'm not trying to. I don't like the story. It's so short, not really thought out. It doesn't work for me. So that's another reason I don't like it. Breath of the Wild, as many people have said, has followed one of the core concepts of basically the Zelda series. That exploring concept. The wonder you feel when you boot up Ocarina of Time and see the great Hyrule Field and for the first time, and you're just like, there's so much to do here. Wow. Or when you're playing Twilight Princess and the world starts opening up and you and Midna are just traveling around and you see all these things you can't do necessarily yet, but they're there. And there's not as much to do, but there's still plenty. You'll still be journeying around, exploring, especially if you want 100% any Zelda game. Same feeling you get with Wind Waker. I don't like Wind Waker's Great Sea, but the sea itself is a lot to explore. There's a lot of things in there. Maybe not all useful, but that's a whole video in itself. Breath of the Wild follows this concept and runs with it. That part I understand. I've never been at heart with the whole exploring thing, because I've never 100%ed a Zelda game. I plan to for Twilight Princess, because that's my favorite Zelda game. You can see where I'm coming from. If I don't even like this concept, I'm most likely on the other side with other Zelda fans. You got the exploring section, but on the other hand, you have fun dungeons, fun puzzles, fun everything on this side. Now, I'm not going to say Breath of the Wild's dungeons are terrible, because, yet again, like earlier, there's the stupid star one that messes me up. But at the same time, on average, they're much dumber. For the basic consumer, I understand. I'm not asking for Dark Souls of puzzles, but I wanted something tangible. And Breath of the Wild just doesn't do that for me. So, in total, a $60 purchase for that wouldn't be worth it. Not for me. So back to my Nintendo game complaint. They never go down in price. Like, there's a sale, like I said earlier, but they never go down in price. You will almost always, on the eShop, see games full price, rare sales, until around 6 months ago when they started doing big sales out of fucking nowhere. You will always see, You always see Pokemon Sword and Shield full price. Their DLC full price. You will always see Breath of the Wild full price. You'll always see all Nintendo games full price, and whether or not that's a worthy price for you, well, that depends on your person, of course. But the fact that this $60 rule, that's a lot of money. I understand games have gotten cheaper over time. I understand that. $60 hasn't always been worth $60. You have to account for inflation and whatnot. Sonic fans tried to print out money. Look up Sonic inflation for more info. But that's besides the point. It's been a standard for a while. But for me, Nintendo, with the Switch, hasn't been living up to it. It just hasn't felt like that. To me, Nintendo has been failing me most of this generation. I don't want to talk about it too much because I just went on a Zelda rant, but I don't even really like Mario Odyssey. It's null for me because I'm a 3D Mario fan, I guess. I don't like most of the games. I've played them before they were on Switch, which 3D All-Stars deserves its own video. If it weren't, talked to death at this point, I might have done it at one point. But $60 for 3 broken-ass ports at launch was just not worth it. But that's besides the point. Super Mario 64, that one was okay. For its time, especially great. I played it, I've beaten it, it's okay. I don't fuck with it. I don't go back to it. Not often, at least. I've been thinking about playing the DS version, but that's its whole thing. Super Mario Sunshine on the Gamecube. I hate that one with a passion due to its boot out system being so excessive, when even on the 64, people found a way to do it without the boot out system. I can understand booting me out after certain stars, or shines in this case, because the level needs to load more shit. But that does not mean you should do it every goddamn time. 64 got away with it because it was nearly the first of its kind, if not the first of its kind. I don't remember the details too well, but it gets away with that because it's early. That makes sense. Sunshine came out at a point where there were many platformers who did it without the boot out system, and it was excessive for that. Galaxy, my favorite Mario 3D platformer, Galaxy 1, not Galaxy 2, there's a distinct difference. I don't really like Galaxy 2 because it's basically Galaxy all over again, but it takes away the little details, in my opinion. It takes away the little things that I like. But Galaxy and Galaxy 2 both have the boot out system. You collect 1 star in the same level, and then you go back to it for like 3 or 4 different stars, but you get boot out after every single one. Even though you might be able to say C2 in the 2 in the level itself when the first time you play it, you will only be able to collect 1, then you will get booted out, and then you have to redo the entire thing. Now, That brings us to 3D World, 3D Land. Not necessarily 3D Land, but 3D World especially. 3D World just got re-released on the Switch. 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. But 3D World I also owned on the Wii U. I still feel like an idiot now. I bought it and now it's just irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. But that's besides the point. 3D World doesn't have boot out system. It has 3 green stars in every level. Green stars probably because of the year of Luigi, but that's besides the point. I like 3D World. It's not a true 3D Mario, but it's okay. I prefer 3D Land, even though I hate 3D Land. I don't hate 3D World, but I hate 3D Land because 3D Land forces you to get star coins to beat the game. My friend can vouch for this. A couple months ago, I played it. I was in like the final world. Not the unlockable worlds, but out of the worlds you can first see. I know there's like 12 unlockable worlds. I know, but out of the worlds you can first see, I was near the end, and for the most part, I hadn't even been collecting those coins. Very rarely would I collect those coins because I didn't feel like they were worthy of collecting. It didn't feel fun to go get them, go out of my way for them, so I didn't. Turns out, you need them to play the next stage and the next stage. I was like 20 coins behind, and you gotta keep in mind, these ones are like the star coins in Wii, New Super Mario Bros., Wii, DS, totally new game. But there's 3 in each level. That means just to have the amount that I would need to go to the next level, not the level beyond that or whatever, just the next level, I would have had to do like 7, 8 levels, and then this is assuming that I get the star the very first time and I don't die or miss one and have to replay the level. And that wasn't worth it to me. But that's what you have to do to beat the game. You have to get all of them in 100% it to unlock more stuff. And there's also, harder levels later on. I know. These are things. But that's it's more fun. Depends. It depends. But that brings us. Skipping over that brings us to Super Mario Odyssey on the Switch, another Nintendo game, which is what this video is supposed to be about. Not just complaining about Nintendo games, just talking about them. Nintendo has made Super Mario Odyssey. Do I like Odyssey? Not really. Do I hate Odyssey like I hate Breath of the Wild? No. I don't like Odyssey because of the amount of stupid moons you have to collect. Not that they're required to beat the game, nothing like that, but if you want 100% that bitch, there's 999. I will never collect that many in my life. There are people who've done it in a couple days, I know, but I will personally never do that. Especially when my friend can vouch for this. I think on one of my old YouTube channels, there might be a privated video of it. But for the final level, I know it's not hard. I can do it first try now. But when I first picked my hands up on Odyssey, even after playing every 3D Mario before that, I had to redo that final trek where you play as Bowser 67 times before I beat it. Mostly because I'm just bad at Mario Odyssey. I still am. I'm a little bit better now, but I'm still bad at it. I don't like Odyssey. Not because I'm bad at it, but because for me, it's just not fun. You collect a moon, but then you realize in the grand scheme of things, that does not matter. And that just makes it not fun for me, because as soon as I'm done collecting that moon, no matter what I did to go get it, it just immediately loses value. Cappy's a cool mechanic. I like that. Possessing people in a Mario game? Yeah, whatever. That makes sense. It's just... I collecting shit in that game might be fun from time to time, but it isn't worth it. And I understand Odyssey is literally built around, hey, pick it up, play it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time you have, and then put it back down. You're not meant to just sit there for a couple hours. That's not what the game devs want you to do, but that's what I did. So, not a big fan of Odyssey. Don't hate it. Pretty neutral on it overall. You got other games on the Switch, like Splatoon 2, which is a sequel of Splatoon on the Wii U, which I shouldn't have to say this, but I own. But, besides that, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, great example. I just remembered that's a thing. We are never getting Mario Kart 9. And no, Mario Kart Tour doesn't exist, doesn't count, and Mario Kart Live doesn't count. They don't count. They suck. Tour especially, I have no idea who fucking plays Tour. Every Mario Kart fan that I've ever talked to doesn't like it because it's so garbage and it's after your money. Not necessarily, you don't have to pay money to do shit. Not like the stupid Mario mobile game where Mario Run, but it's still not fun. You're playing on your phone in comparison to a console. It looks nice, sure, but I'm never going to play it. I've seen a couple new courses there, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just Mario Kart 8 with a couple more bells and whistles, like a proper battle mode from 2016, 2014, really depends. I don't remember when Mario Kart 8 came out, but I own it for Wii U and all of its DLCs. So, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch isn't a worthy purchase. I own it. I can show you the cartridge, but it's not worth it. We're never getting Mario Kart 9. We're never getting it. It's never going to happen. We're never getting that. Because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still, to this day, one of the best-selling Switch games on the Switch. How the fuck have so many people just not had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? I don't know. I don't know how there are people on this planet who still don't have a Switch and are suddenly buying them. Because Switch is still selling pretty well. Now, that leads into a bunch of other things I'm not going to talk about, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just proof we're never going to get it another. I bet when the next console Nintendo makes comes out, we're going to get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Super, and it's going to have, one more character and maybe another track, and that will be our Mario Kart of that system. And all for $60. Probably $7 because Nintendo is after your money. They make you pay for online that's honestly worse than the Wii U's online. They really want to make sure you buy the service just so you can play some SNES games that most people don't even touch. Most people don't. If you are on the Wii U, you could buy them. You could buy the ones you wanted, and that would be it. I bought a couple. Trust me, I know. I feel useless, but I own a Wii U. Of course I'm useless. I own a Wii U in the year 2021, and it still works, and I still play it, because I'd rather play it than play on Nintendo. Switch. Garbage. Nintendo garbage. I just, the main 5 Switch games that I can think of, I don't like. Most things about the Switch, I don't like. Most things about Nintendo games on the Switch, I fucking hate. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Why do you own a Switch then? Why do you own something that you actively don't like? Well, I like Nintendo games. So when the Switch came out, I bought it. Well, I got it for Christmas a couple months after that. And I played Breath of the Wild. At first, it was a little bit fun. But then I played it for 2 weeks. Not all 2 weeks on back-to-back, but, I played it for a little bit. And then I didn't like it. I played Odyssey. I beat Odyssey. And that was it. I didn't touch that game for a whole year afterward. That brings me to Ultimate. I like Smash Ultimate. I really do. It's okay. If you have friends and you can play it, then go for it. If you have siblings you can play with, then go for it. But if you don't have friends and you don't plan on playing on, like, with anyone in your general vicinity, don't fucking buy it. No Smash game is fun by yourself. Like, the story of Smash Ultimate, which isn't really important, but that's your other game mode. That's the single player. You play World of Light, and that shit is dog shit. Yes, I played it on harder difficulties. No, it's still not fun. No, it isn't. No. If you think it is, then you have such a low bar because you are stupid. We've had more fun mini games on the Wii U and the 3DS that was just Smash 4. And actively, at least the backgrounds, not necessarily character models. I've seen the Bayonetta mashup. Most of the character models and the backgrounds feel and look better than the ones on the Switch. I understand the Switch one isn't going to look as good as the Wii U because the Switch is a hybrid console. It's meant to be something you carry around. Most people who bought a Switch at launch, they don't fucking... do you think they take that shit out of their house? They're greasy, they stink, they sit in their mother's basement all day, okay? I'm one of those people. It's not something you want to buy. It's not something you want to do. Alright? Just know that Nintendo hates you, they want your money, and at every given opportunity, they will take it from you one way or another. They will nickel and dime you, just like any other company, in Nintendo games. If you are a person like me, and you're looking for this or that, they're not fucking worth it. Most things I play on my Switch nowadays are third party and were available somewhere else, but they've seen that the Switch sells like hotcakes, so they sell it there. The World Ends With You Final Mix and Neo The World Ends With You, I love them. But the World Ends With You Final Mix, that's only on Switch. Only on Switch. I've been playing it with the broken ass Joy-Con I have, because Joy-Cons are also bullshit. But, you know, that's a whole different video. Goodbye. This is a half an hour long video that I'm going to have to edit at some point. By the time this comes out, it will probably be after the Pokemon Direct today. It is August 18th. I'll probably upload this the day after, but there will definitely be a video about that. Don't worry. I'll talk about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Arceus Legends like the dog shit that they probably are. I haven't seen the new shit they're going to announce today, but I do know from what I've seen so far, they both look like dog shit I won't buy because it's a bad idea. I have Gamefly though, so that means I'm probably going to rent them out for a little bit and see how much dog shit they are. And probably record that and just send it to you guys. Love ya.